Nothing is left. Thousands of Palestinians flee south as Israel steps up Gaza City offensive. Thousands of Palestinians fled northern Gaza on Wednesday, traveling miles on foot through the battered enclave in a growing exodus prompted by Israel's intensified ground and air campaign. Streams of people, women, children, the elderly and disabled, made their way down Salah Eden Street, one of the two north-south highways in Gaza, along an evacuation corridor announced by the Israel Defense Forces. One teenage girl compared the mass movement to the Nakba, or catastrophe, the Arabic term for the expulsion of Palestinians from their towns during the founding of Israel. It was the fifth day in a row that the IDF opened an evacuation window. The UN said 2,000 had fled south on Sunday, rising to 15,000 on Tuesday. The Israeli government said 50,000 Gazans traveled via the evacuation corridor Wednesday. That number could not be independently verified, but a CNN journalist at the scene said the numbers leaving were larger than on Tuesday. Israel has been ramping up its offensive inside Gaza, following 7 October attacks that left 1,400 people in Israel dead. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant claimed Tuesday that IDF troops were at the heart of Gaza City and targeting Hamas infrastructure and commanders there. It is unclear where exactly Israel is fighting. Gaza is the biggest terror stronghold that mankind has ever built. This whole city is one big terror base.
UN rights chief says both Israel and Hamas have committed war crimes. Both Hamas and Israel have committed war crimes in the past month, the United Nations human rights chief said, as thousands of Palestinians fled south amid Israel's intensifying offensive against the Islamist militant group. The atrocities perpetrated by Palestinian armed groups on October 7 were heinous, brutal, and shocking. They were war crimes, as is the continued holding of hostages, said Volker Turk, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. The collective punishment by Israel of Palestinian civilians amounts also to a war crime, as does the unlawful forcible evacuation of civilians, he added. Israel declared war on Hamas on October 7 after militants killed 1,400 people in Israel and kidnapped about 240 others, according to the Israel Defense Forces. The ensuing Israeli assault on Gaza has plunged the Strip into crisis, with mass displacement and severe shortages of food, water, fuel, and medical supplies. The IDF has repeatedly called on civilians to move to the southern half of the Strip to avoid the fighting, and has opened daily evacuation corridors to allow them to do so, as it intensifies attacks on Hamas in Gaza City and northern Gaza, saying it would strike the militants wherever necessary.